Thanks for tuning in for another D6 pack video. Today I'm going to be going over Star Wars Carcassonne, but this is very similar to the regular game of Carcassonne with a couple of exceptions, which I will cover in a minute. But you could probably use this to teach either version of Carcassonne. And Adrian and I will be playing this with a couple of our friends at 8 p.m. for May the 4th, so please join us for that. And with that, let me get to the game. So setup for Carcassonne is pretty simple. Players will get a color marker, as well as 4 small meeples and a large meeple, and one that will go on the score track. Then this center tile is placed in the middle of the table, which has an orange back to differentiate it from the rest of the tiles, which have blue backs. And then you are ready to begin the game. So on a player's turn, they are going to draw a tile from a bag and then decide where they want to place it adjacent to one of the tiles that has been previously played on the board, as long as the sides match up. So in this case, the player could put this here so that trade routes match trade routes. There are 4 different types of realms in this game, which are comparable to the regular Carcassonne realms. Trade routes would match up with roads, asteroid belts match up with castles, space matches up with fields, and planets match up with cathedrals. So after a player has played a tile, they have an option to place one of their figures either on a asteroid belt, trade route, or planet on that tile, so long as that realm does not already have a figure on it. One of the things that is unique to Star Wars Carcassonne is that if there is a planet either orthogonally or diagonally adjacent to the tile that you've just played, you can choose to move your figure onto that planet regardless of whether there's a figure there or not. However, we'll just say that this player is going to go into the asteroid belt. Once an area is no longer playable anymore, that will score. So in this case, asteroid belts score 2 points per tile that are involved in that realm. So this player would get 2, 4, 6 points. They'll move their figure up, and then they will remove the one that was played on the board and return it to their supply. Trade routes score 1 point per tile in that realm, and those are ended either by dead ends or intersections of that trade route. Planets will score 1 point per tile surrounding it and the planet tile itself. So if it was just regular tiles all the way around, it'd be 9 points. However, one of the other unique features of Star Wars Carcassonne is that several of the tiles will have these faction symbols on them. And regardless of the type of faction symbol, each one in the scoring realm will score you 2 additional points on top of whatever else you're earning. The ones that are on planets are unique to planets. Those are the only ones that you'll score in that realm. And the ones that are not on a planet tile will not score you anything for that planet. Another little thing that's unique to the Star Wars version of Carcassonne is the battle system. So I mentioned earlier that you can't place a figure into a realm that already has a figure in it. However, there is a way to get other figures into the same realm. For example, you can see white and green here are currently in different realms. However, if you were to place this tile here, now they are in the same realm. In normal Carcassonne, it would just go on majority. Whoever has the majority in that realm will get the points when that realm scores. However, in Star Wars, when 2 figures are in the same realm, it initiates a battle, which is basically straight dice combat. But the number of dice is determined by the number of faction symbols and figures in that realm. And this is where matching faction symbols is going to be important. So players do have a maximum of 3 dice, but for example, in this case, green just has one faction, one guy, so he will get 1 die. White has his big guy there, so he'll get 2 die for that. And then he has 1 matching faction symbol in that realm, so he will get a 3rd die for that. Then players will simultaneously roll their die, and it's based on the highest die of each roll. So in this case, white would win. The loser gets 1 point for every die that they rolled in that combat, so green would get 1 point, and white would keep that realm, green would take their guy back to their supply. If there had been a tie in the rolls, each tied player would get 1 point, and then those players would re-roll in order to resolve the battle until one of them is successfully the winner. At the end of the game, any incomplete realms will still score players 1 point per tile in that realm, and then whoever has the most points at the end of the game wins. So this May the 4th is going to be the first time that any of us have played the Star Wars edition of Carcassonne, but it's very similar to regular Carcassonne. I think that the battle and the faction symbols are going to make the game interesting, so I'm excited to see how that plays out. But Carcassonne's a very simple game. It's easy to teach. There's not a lot of rules involved in it, so I really like this game. It's a good gateway game, and I like the Star Wars theme, so hopefully that will turn out well. And hopefully you will join us on May the 4th at 8 p.m. when Adrian and I play this with some friends. Thanks for watching. Bye.